5 1-mile intervals at 8:30 pace. Big man, I am tired. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Just come off the deload week, and great news, my ankle is feeling much better. Largely in part to the fact that I started ice bathing my ankle. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, after the long run, thought, you know what, let me slap this in the ice bath, see what's going on. 2 days later, totally fine. Good thing I've discovered that technique, because this week I'm moving forward. Obviously the pace picks up. This week I've got the first and only interval session of the whole training plan. And at the end of the week, I've got a long run with race pace tagged on. So I've got to make sure I hit both sessions hard. Have to nail them, because next week I might only get 1, maybe 2 sessions in. And then after that, it's just like peak and then taper. No time to mess about. Let's lock in. Let's go get it. Onwards. Alright, so I decided to hit the local track just to keep pacing honest, control the environment. The target for today is 5 single-mile intervals with a 90-second jog recovery. I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't do a jog recovery, I just chilled. Anyway, target pace was between 8:20 and 8:40, which is speeds I've not seen or training block, but I'll be honest with you, I feel like I smashed it. Felt very comfortable. I was very surprised too. Wednesday was just back on bye day, so one of those ones where hit hard, got dressed, run-of-the-mill stuff. Feeling good though, feeling nice and strong, ready for the breakaway and that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna go back to just easy push-pull legs afterwards. Anyway, here's the rest of the back day. Europe, what's going on? Saturday evening, figured it's time for a quick check-in. Long run is tomorrow. 10.5 miles, 2.5 of that at the end has to be at race pace. Now, there's 2 plans. Plan A, which is a sensible plan, is run all 10.5 flat. Obviously, the back end at 2.5 miles is race pace, and that just allows me to see if I can indeed achieve race pace at the end of the route. Or the saucy plan is hilly for the first 8, race pace for the back 2.5. Now, I've been chatting with one of the man them who's planning to run Robin Hood Half this year, and he's already ran this course, and what he suggested is doing a recce through an area called the Park, because the Park is basically within the first 2-3 miles of the whole course. I ain't gonna lie to you, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna push it, do the first 4 or 5 miles of Robin Hood Half, and then cling to fitness and try and hit race pace at the end of the 8 miles. Now, still not planning the route. I'm gonna have to go figure out how it's gonna work, but yeah, I think that's where we're taking the coach tomorrow. Aside from that, Thursday didn't train. Friday, chest, shoulders, try in the gym. You know how we do. Final sort of like upper session, well, final front plate upper session before I go on holiday. Although I messed up my shoulder, so there's also that. Anyway, onwards. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, sun's beaming, nice cool breeze. About 10.5 miles I'm doing this today. For a few miles, one got incident, so we might as well just cut to me 8 miles and see what's happening. Alright, 7.9 miles. 0.1, reactivate. Restrictors off. Let's not gas it. But anyway, I am tired. I do feel like I'm actually pushing where I am, so it's gonna be tough. But yeah, that's what we're here to do. Let's do it. Onwards. Alright, 10.5 miles in the bag. Ankle feels fine. Knee felt a little funky part way through, but it's bearable. Overall, throughout the run, felt good. You know what I mean? Good. Now, I should be happier than I am, but I'm not quite. Reason being, so, first 8 miles, every mile, spot on. Like, between 10, 15, and 11. Bang on every mile, even uphill. Like, everything was within the long run pace. So yeah, very happy with that to an extent. The race pace, 2.5. Now, I was faffing about on my watch and I accidentally pressed the lap button and I forgot that you can undo the lap. So I don't have the splits for the first 2.5 miles, but when I look at the overall cooldown period, everything is pretty much around 9:10. So that's fine. The reason why I'm not overjoyed, because it is technically a good run, is because that 2.5, like I had to manage stitch and it felt like pain. So it's a bit of a gut punch, because it's like, nah, like the run was calm for when you're doing long run pace, but we're trying to race. So I've got to do all that between 9 and 9:10. Like, yeah, it's a humbling experience. I feel like I don't want to overreact and just go ahead and change everything, because one thing I do know is I had a period, this side note, I had a period where I was powerlifting because I wanted to hit 1,000 pounds on squat, bench and deadlift within a year, which I did. Now, the training plan that I was doing, I was going nowhere near the maximums that I hit when it came for me to actually, hit 1,000 pounds. I was always like well below it. I was always like teetering kind of close, but never training anywhere near it. And then when it became game time and I had to actually do the work, I smashed it. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was overjoyed. Now, that's the only thing that's got me somewhat willing to wind my neck in and just continue as we are, because that last 2.5 miles, I was talking to myself saying, hang in there, you can do this, and I could do it. And I kept clock watching. That's another thing I have to get over, because I think on the race day it'll be fine, because obviously the track is all laid out, whereas this course I'm still route checking, and that's why I had a technical issue. But I need to spend more time bathing in the pain. I need to spend more time like deep within 9 to 9:10 for longer periods than 2.5 miles, which I think I've got to do for the final 2 or 3 weeks. So good run, yeah. On target, yeah. But there's a bit of a sinking feeling like it's gonna be this sub 2 hours is gonna be so tough. I could feel it already. That sub 2 hours, it's yeah. Anyway, I don't want to end on a somber note, but overall, great week. I'm gonna take the next few days to recover. I will get a session in next week. I'm debating whether to do a tempo, or I was supposed to do a speed test for 10k. Trying to hit a 10k within 58 minutes. Now I'm gonna do one or the other basically, because I was gonna do one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, but because I travel on the Thursday and I've got to be setting off from home around 12, like, especially as I've got to ice my ankle and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to have like stiff ankle when I'm trying to skank in a rave, them ones there. So I'll figure out what I'm gonna do next week, and then we continue on. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Soon come.